What's going on, my fit fam? So, happy Memorial Day, first off. Gotta start with the celebrations of the memorials. Oh my God, I almost hit a bird. But that does not mean we skip out on workouts, fam. Even if you're on vacation, man, you can get a body weight workout in. It takes, man, that's the thing that kind of, we'll start with this, man, because this is one of those holidays where people tend to get into it and they start thinking that it's a good excuse to just, skip all their fitness goal stuff and think that it's justified. It's not justified. It's like, listen, dude, when you're talking about making sacrifices, when you got into this fitness journey and you're like, I want to hit these goals, you have to commit to sacrifices. And that's part of the sacrifices you have to commit to is just a little bit of comfort, even on holidays. So you ain't ever going to see me skipping out on a workout just because it's a holiday. I mean, it might end up lining up that way, right? Or maybe you planned it out accordingly and, you worked your butt off to be able to enjoy that holiday without worrying about it. That's a different story. But there's so many people who are like, that's Memorial Day, dude. I want to not do anything. Like, you have fun doing that, man. I'm going to go ahead and keep working towards my goals. But anyways, we've got push day today. Man, no, obviously no jiu-jitsu this past weekend. Running some errands too again, so going across town. A little bit of a longer car talk today, but been kind of taking it easy with the hamstring. It's doing pretty well, I did a little bit of legs yesterday, went to the gym, I actually even did a little bit of some very light hamstring curls, standing hamstring curls. They're sore, but it's something that I think we just got to give it time. I really don't know if it's going to be ready to go for this next Saturday for jiu-jitsu. I don't know. I feel like maybe if I play it very safe and I start on the ground and stuff, we'll just have to wait and see. But I can tell you right now, I mean, it's still sore right now. And so we just got to take it very easy. I'm not wanting to re-hurt it. It's just not worth it. It'll keep me out of the gym for longer. And then not only will it keep me out of the gym for longer, but it'll also keep me out of just working out in general, because right now I can still train around this, but you get that to a grade 2 strain and that's a little bit of a different story. You're really going to baby it a lot more, and I'm not trying to do that, so for push today, we're going to play around a little bit. That's the same thing. I honestly, I told you guys last Friday I got a fishing trip planned, not for this weekend but for the next weekend. And we might use this time period to be like, okay, this is the recovery time period. And then after that little fishing trip, we can kind of start pushing it a little bit more, because that'll be a good little 2 to 3 weeks since it's happened. But we'll see what, how it lines out. I'm still going to try, I think, to go to jiu-jitsu this next weekend. Definitely won't be going the weekend after that. It's so flippin' floppy. But, we're working on getting it more consistent with this stuff. I've got so much going on. I had a book drop. I'm trying to do so much at one time. It's part of the reason. Don't do that. That's me being me. But Chigel would not be Chigel without doing some irrational shit. We far enough in the video where I can cuss? Oh yeah, we're good. Anyways, push today. And I don't know. I kind of want to do some dumbbell bench. Wouldn't be a bad idea. I haven't done incline press in a minute either, though. But I don't want to go too crazy with incline, because I don't want to be pushing into the ground. I think that exact movement might be what'll throw my my hamstring for a little bit of a whirl. So we're going to be a little bit smarter about that. I might do flat dumbbell bench with my feet up off the bench. So that way I'm not pushing into the ground and just using upper body, deload the weight a little bit. Maybe try some of that. A lot of seated stuff, obviously. I mean, I can stand. Standing's not an issue. I just don't want to load this baby up too much. She's still catching. She's still catching. But it's weird. It's like the stuff that's making the hamstring catch is like walking type movements. It's not really like actual like hamstring movements or like, you know, like I said, I did a little bit of hamstring curls yesterday, a little bit of leg extensions yesterday. So straightening the legs, not really an issue. It's directly about moving my leg forward, like hip flexion almost, which is weird. So I don't know, man. It's really hard to even hit lower abs like this. For core yesterday, I did some farmer carries at some really lightweight. I do feel like that was a good move. I don't know what we'll do today though, because again, that hip flexion's kind of weird. I don't know if like doing something like, you know, starfish crunches might hurt it. That sounds like something I kind of want to do. It doesn't sound too crazy, just a bodyweight exercise. But that exact movement, I think, is what's going to pull it, you know? So I don't know. It's hard. We'll figure it out. We're having to play around and, again, work around it. But as long as I leave with a good, like, chest and shoulder and tricep pump, that's all we're going for. I guess now can be kind of the time where we are leaning more towards our bodybuilding style. Because we just, you know, we're adapting to the circumstances, which is what you have to do when you're training like an athlete. Well, really, when you're training with anything, but, you know, there is no explosive training. Let me say that. There's not going to be any kind of training that's going to make me really, really sore the next day either. So we got to be chill about it, because if I don't do it that way, I won't recover as fast. You know what sucks is I'm just about out of that BPC 5.7. Is that right? Did I say that right? Which I think would help a lot with this recovery process, but probably should order some more. Diet's been a little bit crazy too, I will say that. Like, been letting the protein drop a little bit. I don't know, my mindset's definitely messed my mindset up just a little bit with that injury. This is why it's nice to have a coach, by the way. Just someone to be like, hey, get your shit back together, you know. But I digress. Where was I going with that? I don't know. My brain's all funky. I'm getting back on track as far as the mindset goes. But definitely once that happened, my brain was like, okay, diet-wise, my brain was like, do I need more calories to make sure I'm recovering? Do I need to stay in this cut and risk not recovering as fast? You know, it's something I'm bouncing around with. So I ended up eating just a little bit higher calories. It wasn't like I was eating like, I wasn't eating any of my like 4,000 calorie days or anything, you know. But it was like, there was probably a couple like 3,200, 3,300 calories this past weekend. So definitely did some, I think what did me good and helped my mindset get reset, and just kind of get back on track and deload, really fill my cup. I don't know if you guys watched my Instagram story. I went fishing this weekend. And something I've always wanted to do was to do a catch and cook, because it's just not something I've ever gotten to do. I'm not, you know, I just kind of got back into fishing this year. You know, I've done a lot of deep sea fishing when I was a kid, and my grandpa took me fishing a few times, and I went a little bit of fishing with my friends, but it just wasn't something that really grabbed my attention at the time. But now that I'm looking for a reason to stay outside and just deload and unwind and have something to do that's outside and physical and moving, that's not fitness related, you know, you know, because, you know, don't get me wrong, I love everything fitness. But it is my job, so I am already surrounded around it all the time. So something that's a little bit different, and you know, even if I am being physical, and you know, fishing this past year has really been something I really enjoy. Been getting back into, and I just never learned how to fillet fish or how to really go about cooking different kinds of fish, how to go about it. So I went fishing about 30 minutes out of town by myself. I did this completely by myself. Caught me a good amount of blue geegees, if you guys know what the hell that is. I don't know if my content or my people even know the terms. I don't know if we got a lot of fishers. Comment if you know what a blue geegee is down in the chat. But caught a good like 5. I caught 2 like 6-inchers. I caught quite a few 6-inchers. I didn't keep all. Caught quite a bit of bluegigi. But if you know anything, it's bluegill. Bluegill's the fish. But if you know anything about that fish, they're not huge. You know, they're really hard to fillet. Really, you can't really fillet them. I mean, you can if you get a fat one. I had a few fat ones. Don't get me wrong. I had like 3 8.5 inchers, which is pretty decent for a bluegill. But I caught a lot of like 5 inches and below, and then I kept a few. You know, technically you can keep them around. You can keep any size bluegill really in Arkansas. I think there's like a lit of like a certain like 7 inches plus. Maybe you have to. There's a limit on like 25, but I don't think there's a limit for anything below that. I'm not sure how that law resides, but it's a panfish, so they're not like it's not like it's a bass, or a catfish. But that being said, I caught a good like 5 of them, you know, and I ended up making some fish tacos out of them. My buddy Destin came over to help me cook them. But, you know, I had to go through the process of, you know, first of all, I caught those big ass, like 8.5 inchers. Those were some good eating right there. But, you know, I bonked them on the head, put them on ice, took them back home. My buddy Destin came over and helped me clean them up. Well, really, I cleaned them up. I scaled them and I filleted them. I might have some pictures I can post up for you guys. I think I saved them. And with bluegill, again, you can't really fillet them. I didn't fillet it. What I ended up doing is I ended up cutting it what I call Asian style. It's just something because you'll see a lot of Asian countries cut fish this way instead of fillets, because honestly you get a lot more meat out of it, and I honestly would prefer cooking it this way. It's just you got to deal with a lot more bone, so it's a little bit more of a hassle. But if you cook it down enough, man, you can eat the bone. That being said, also if you fry them, you can also pull the bone and spine directly out. Anyways, we cooked it that way, made some fish tacos, used a lot of lemon. It was so good, dude. It was just that experience. Anyways, getting back to the point I was trying to make, that experience of getting out, doing something like that, refilling my cup, getting my mind right. It helped. It definitely helped. And I think that's something I want to try and do on just about every weekend basis, because you can fish all year round. In fact, even during the winter time ish, that's when I kind of want to go fishing really bad, because that's when crappie is really good for bank fishing because they're spawning. Anyway, I'm getting into my fish talk now. But you guys let me know. Comment below. Let me know if you guys would like to see some fishing live streams, because I was thinking about doing that because I had all this equipment. I could do some fishing live streams. I could do like a fishing, you know, post-workout catch and cook or something. That would be cool. That would be sick. Like do a Friday catch and cook. I could totally do that. Y'all let me know. Anyways, or I could even, like I said, live stream the fishing trip I got coming up with the boys. But again, keep me up to date. I'm gonna go inside, get nice and warmed up, you know, fill out what I feel like we can get done today. We'll push it a little bit more than we did last week with last push day. Y'all didn't see that one, I forgot. But anyways, we're gonna get inside, get warmed up, and we'll get after. All right, so good news. I found the landmine. I guess they moved it a little bit, or maybe it wasn't there last time. It definitely wasn't here last time because I was looking for it, but it's back. That's good. We are gonna go ahead and just do some basic landmine presses. In fact, I've already gotten in 3 sets. We're just gonna do 2 more sets of 20. So higher volume, obviously, but I forgot to mention we are changing the split, and this is mainly just to do with the fact that, you know, I think it's going to be better for recovery. A basic push-pull leg split is good for a long time, but I do think, you know, just based off of me training for a long time and stuff, I think it could be better optimized for recovery and specifically for fighting like I'm doing. So I'm going to do those switches. And the switches aren't going to be anything crazy. There's still somewhat push-pull leg split. It's just kind of divvied up a little bit more to optimize recovery. For example, I had to do something about the shoulders, right? Like the shoulders were basically getting hit 4 days a week because you still hit them, you know, you hit those rear delts all the time still when you're doing back. So we're splitting that kind of stuff up a little bit. We're splitting up the legs and how we're attacking the legs so I can focus more on hamstrings, so I can focus more on quads on separate days. And so it'll kind of divulge itself as it goes along. Oh man, I didn't even think about how that's going to affect the vlog. It shouldn't be anything too crazy. I might just have to record them on different days, which would, again, that's not going to be, I'm going to be here anyways, so it's not a problem. So we'll see. We'll figure it out. It's not going to be a big deal. But that being said, today is chest and shoulder day. So basically, the main idea here is anterior chain focus day. You know, we're going to have an anterior chain focus day, and then we'll have a posterior chain focus day kind of thing. But no triceps, even though the triceps are going to absolutely get hit, we're not like focusing intention on triceps until Thursday, you know? So again, I'll figure out how we'll make sure we get you guys involved a little bit more. And as far as like that hurting my hammy, not a problem. It's just not heavy enough. It's when I put it down that's kind of scary. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And by the time we get done with another set, we'll be over 100 reps in, so I feel pretty good about that. Just kind of getting the blood flow going again. After these, probably going to go ahead and hit some shoulder flies, because we really just haven't hit those in a long time. And then I got to think about how the posterior chain's going to get, or the rear deltoids are going to get hit along this way. It's not going to be anything too crazy though. I'll get it figured out. I'm still kind of working out the kinks, but the main thing is this is going to allow me to like recover better while I'm training like this, because we're still going to do conditioning. Obviously this next week is going to be a little bit, you know, lighter. I'm still going to try and do some bag work today though. So not going to record that because I just kind of want to flow in the bag and, you know, have me time, but we'll figure something out. And then, I don't know. Again, this week's gonna be weird because we're still in recovery mode, trying to recover from this hamstring strain. We'll figure it out though. It's not gonna be anything too crazy. I think what today is, after this exercise, is we're just gonna do lots of like sets of 3. And I'll probably do a warm-up set, then pull you guys out for 2 sets. Like I'm doing here, we're just gonna do 2 sets here. Just because I have a lot kind of lined up, but I think we're gonna do some supersets next. All right, this is where it's weird. Just don't want to put that down the wrong way and hurt that hamstring. All right, good on these. I'm gonna go find some dumbbells somewhere and we're gonna get some dumbbell flies going. All right, we're gonna do side raises and superset these with rear delt raises. But yeah, so today we've got chest and shoulders. Later this week, we're gonna have back and shoulders. This is what I mean, like we're changing up the dynamic of how we're kind of hitting stuff. And that just means, you know, this, again, anterior focused and posterior focused shoulders, you know, because shoulders are one of those weird muscle groups they do, because you're talking about, when you say shoulders, you're talking about a group of muscles. And part of those group of muscles are pulling, you know what I mean? So, for example, I'm about to do them, but anyways. These shoulders are a little tight, I will say that. Oh, a little tip. I don't know if you guys, you know, do this or not, or focus on this, but it is definitely recommended. Try and get your pinkies up on your way up when you're doing this. This helps make sure that you're using your shoulders the right way. See how I'm turning? I'm trying to do this with really good posture too, so I might drop the weight a little bit just so I can really hyper prioritize that. I gotta be careful with this position. I don't know, man. That weight feels good on those rear delt flies. I kind of want to keep them just for those, but yeah, I mean, we got one more set, so one more of these. We'll do some. I definitely want to get some flies in for sure. Cable if we can, but we'll see if they're open. They're all taken up right now, pretty much. Yeah. So a quick little rundown of the split, in case y'all are wondering. if I remember this correctly. It's different. It's gonna take me a second to remember. I have to get it printed off. But chest and shoulders start the week off on Monday. Tuesdays back and biceps. Wednesdays should be quads, calves, and core. Quads, calves, and core. Now again, on these days, does that mean for like you're not going to hit these other muscle groups? No. Like for example, I'm definitely getting those triceps hit today. But it's just not a focus. You're not you're not doing exercises based off of hitting that muscle group. You know what I mean? That's the difference. That's the main idea. And so the day after that will be chest. I don't know what it's going to be. Chest and something. Oh, chest and triceps. That's right. Chest and triceps. Day after that, so we can focus on those triceps a little bit. Day after that should be the back and shoulders day I was talking about. And then after that, on Saturday, should be hamstrings, glutes, and core, I believe. And it says core. That just means like transverse abs, core stiffness. I'm still going to do abs every day. Just not like core. You know, core is something where you're doing like a little bit more weighted core hold, maybe like farmer carries, for example. And I'll probably that's what will probably be a big basis of that core work is going to be some kind of carry because I just need to make sure we're hitting those. But let's get these done. What's up? You know what? I think we're gonna go ahead and knock out some Arnold presses. So I definitely want to get those in, and I want to do them seated, and this is a perfect setup for it. So I'm gonna change angles just to make things look prettier for you guys. We're gonna do some Arnold presses. 2 more sets of 10 on these. I already did a set. These feel pretty good. I feel like I'm taking it nice and like controlled approach with this. So like the big thing is I can really feel like blood getting pumped to these like the shoulders, triceps, and chest, honestly. So, but again, triceps are just consequential. They're not part of the main thing we're focusing on hitting today. But yeah, definitely gonna hit some kind of fly after this. Maybe pec deck. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what's open. I mean, yeah, these feel really good. Really, really good. So everything feels nice and stable, you know. No contralateral movements today. Maybe later this week, we'll see what happens. But again, we're not going crazy yet. We're going to give it some time. So the game plan, some kind of fly variation. We'll see what's open. And then I'm going to try and do starfish crunches off camera. I'll let you know how they go. For all I know, I'll be all over there flopping like a dead fish. I don't feel like recording that. That being said, after that, I am also going to go ahead and try and hit some bag work. Solid 15 minutes, no timer or anything, just trying to really crank it out and feel around really more than anything. But stretch after that, a good stretch. And then later today, and this is something we're changing, again, like the second exercises don't need to be crazy. So we're taking that back to what we were doing before, and just a good 30-minute walk. It's supposed to be raining, so that can be on the treadmill I have at home. followed by a good 10 to 15 minutes of just loosely stretching out what's tight and stuff like that. That way I'm stretching twice a day. And then what we'll do is we are going to be doing, like on the days I'm not recording, I'm probably going to be working out at Hotworks so I can utilize their sauna. And we might do a workout there at some point, but it's just such a small area. But again, usually no one's there, so if that continues to be the case, we may try it out. I'll go tomorrow and see what it's looking like. But that way I can go ahead and make sure I'm getting like some really good, like, you know, hot yoga, hot stretching, hot foam rolling, that kind of stuff at the end of my workouts. I'll foam roll at the beginning, but like the really intense, like, you know, portion of it, or heated portion of it, is going to be at the end. Because I don't want to waste that energy at the beginning. And it will. It'll drain you. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, let's go put this up. Yeah, it looks ominous outside. I don't know if y'all can see out that window. So hopefully we can wrap this up before it just starts downpouring. It's supposed to get crazy. But we're gonna go find a fly variation and start attacking that. Little change of plans. I walked up to it and it was set up like this, and I was like, man, I kind of want to do some like push downs, like chest push downs, cable push downs. Because these are so far apart, it's going to give me a good stretch on the way back. You know what I mean? You'll see what I mean. I did a set. It does feel pretty good. And so this way, too, when we do chest later this week, I can try and prioritize fly variations. And then, of course, hitting the triceps. You know, so splitting it up a little bit, playing around. And then next week, what we'll do is we'll record. Man, that is going to play around kind of weird, but maybe I'll try and record on Sunday because there will be a Sunday workout. Saturdays will be the non-lifting days. So yesterday I just kind of, you know, did a leg workout, but we'll see what happens. So here, got to make sure I tuck my chin, a little bit of a wider stance. And keep those shoulder blades pinched. Yeah, that hits it. It's a pretty different way. I like it. It's time to experiment, you know. A little bit of a medium weight. Trying to figure out if I want to stay at the same weight, drop the weight, because I think that's a good weight. I think what we're going to do is take a few breaths, and then we're just going to attack this one more time, because I'll make 3 sets of 10. And then, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and off camera do starfish crunches, my conditioning, which is going to be just some light bag work, stretching, and then I'll see you guys in the car. But so that's going to be how it is kind of this week. And then we'll do a little pose out. Like I said, the pose outs we'll do at the end of the week. I'm still trying to, in my head or in my brain, think like, what am I, how am I recording these? Because I have set in stone editing days for these things. It's going to take a little bit more tinkering. That's okay. That's part of the process, is like, you know, you're not going to know until you try. It's kind of the thing. And so we're playing around with some stuff, figure out what's the best fit right now for our goals. And we're getting closer and closer. I think that injury is honestly a blessing in disguise, because it just was not really, you know, it felt, I liked the conditioning, but I didn't know how to set this up with my recovery and stuff like that. These feel a little off, but they look the same. Let me focus. Oh yeah, got a decent little chest pump there. All right, but anyways, I'm gonna tinker with it. Next time you guys see me on vlog, In the next vlog, that is. Well, I'll have it figured out, but still brainstorming. But anyways, I'm gonna get this done, and then I'll see you guys in the car. All right, pretty good little workout. I got 2 sets of the starfish crunches in. So we did get some contralateral work in. It's pretty nice. Only did 2 sets of 10 on each side. So, I mean, I felt it, but I definitely felt that hamstring pulling a little bit. So we didn't go too crazy on it. The good news is I was able to make it happen without like the hamstring catching. You know, I felt it pulling, but it wasn't like cramping up on me, you know? So good signs, good signs. Not too bad of a little chest and shoulders day right there. Gonna have to get out of the habit of calling it push day. I mean, it's still essentially a push day. It's just, you know, triceps aren't being focused, which is something else. Again, I was telling y'all that before too. It was like, I need to focus more on the triceps a little bit more. You know, I'm not hitting them like I want to. And that was part of the problem too. So this will probably help, you know, because there's just so many different exercises I want to get in and have prioritizations over other things. And so this way I can work on being explosive through a lot more muscle groups too. Because since we're divvying it up, you know, the first 1 to 2 exercises can be focused on strength, and then we can do whatever. You know, we won't have to worry about getting in more exercises to focus or isolate certain things, you know. So anyways, this is going to be a little bit easier on me. We'll see how it goes. Give it a little try, see how it goes. As far as what I'm about to go do, I'm about to go get a live stream going for the clients. Get them some motivation, because I know people are probably, you know, it's Memorial Day again. I know people are probably thinking about slacking off today, and I need to make sure they're not, because again, if you're serious about your goals, man, you can't be fucking slack. It's just the most honest thing you're gonna do in your life, man. It's not gonna, your goals don't give a flying shit about Memorial Day and you sitting on your ass and you being at the lake or the beach and drinking alcohol and eating snacks and being a lazy ass. They don't care. Your goals do not give a shit. It cares whether or not you are showing the fuck up for what you need to be doing to get the results you want. That's all it cares about. Get out of the delusional lunatic thinking of, oh, I deserve this. Oh, it's a holiday. Everyone's taking the day off. But if you followed what everyone else was doing, you'd be fucking overweight. 75% of the population in the United States is overweight. You want to be that? Do what everyone else is doing. If you don't, shut the fuck up and train, okay? That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. It's as simple as that. That's gonna be a very clippable moment right there. I'm gonna take that and use it. But anyways, yeah, I'm gonna go hype up my Fit Fam, eat some lunch. I think we got steak and eggs on the menu. Do a few chores real quick. I've got a lot lined up today. I've got actually a call later today too. But, you know, Mondays are typically me setting my week up, being like, okay, this is what we're doing. This is what needs to be done. I need to try and get a published or a paperback or a physical copy of my book done today. That's something that's on the list. So, you know, we got a bunch of stuff that needs to get done. I just got to start attacking it. So, but anyways, once I get a few things done, you know, live stream, do a little bit of cleaning, let my lunch settle just a little bit. Lunch, brunch. We typically eat around 11. So, that being said, let it sit. Give it a few hours. Around 2 or 3, I'll go ahead and get that 30 minutes of cardio in, shower, protein shake, and then you know, finish out the day with some more work. Guys, I work all the fucking time. That's just how I am. Taking days off is what, even when I'm like, again, even when I'm like chilling, or even when I'm like not working, I'm still doing work. You know, for example, fishing this weekend was not work, but it took me all day, and I was out trudging, and I was swimming out there. I was swimming. It was like ankle deep water because of all this rain. It was actually really cool. It was fun. It was a fun time. But I digress. I need to, you know, focus on getting that recovery in. But at the same time, your boy is just a workaholic. So you guys bear with me while we go through this stuff. But anyways, that's all I've got. I'm just yapping and bapping. Excited that we aren't just absolutely out of commission. Very grateful this wasn't a grade 2 strain. And honestly excited for this new little switch up in the training we're going to be doing with the new split and everything. So I'll keep you guys posted. But the next workout you guys should see should be a test run on these legs. I think we got quads, glutes, calves, and core. So I'll see you guys then. Peace.